Welcome back to TubeGurji channel. Today we are going to develop this Uber web application project, and we are developing everything from the scratch. So in order to develop this Uber application, we are going to use React, Next.js 13, Tailwind CSS, Google Map API. Then we will use our clerk for the authentication, Stripe payment gateway integration, as well as we are going to deploy it on the Vercel. Okay, so everything we are going to learn in this particular course. So before doing any further delay, let's walk through the application first. So if you see, once you are on the home page, right, then you will see beautiful landing page, and you have option to sign in with the Facebook, Google, Microsoft, or even with the email address. So let's sign in with the some email address. So just sign in, and once you sign in, it will automatically redirect to the home page. And if you see, right now we are at the home page. Now if you want to search some location, let's search for location. And if you see this particular location, right, and it's immediately showing on this particular Google map. Now this is the Google map is fully styled or customized according to the or similar to the Uber application. Okay, so if you see this layout, the color combination, everything I'm gonna teach you in this particular lecture. Now let's search for another location. Okay, so if I search with the some different location, and if you see, it gives you the source and destination with the markers, label, as well as its route. It will give you the route as well on the map. Okay, how it goes. Now click on search, then you will get a beautiful Uber cars option. Okay, along with the price. I will tell you how to draw this route. Also we will learn how to calculate the distance and also calculate the price based on the how far it is from the source and destination. Okay, now select any of this car which you want. For example, if I select this comfort, okay, now you can even select any others, and if you see, this button name is get changed immediately, depends on your selection. Okay, so once you select this any of this particular car, click on the request comfort. Okay, and once you click it, it will redirect you on the Stripe payment gateway. Interesting, right? Now enter some card details. Let add some expiration date, some CVV, and some zip code. Okay, and now click pay. As soon as you hit pay, it will give you the Stripe secret key, and then it will confirm your payment, and it will redirect to the confirmation page like this. So beautiful, right? So everything from the beginning of implementing the authentication to the how to integrate the Stripe to our application, everything we are learned in this particular course. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe to my channel. And if you don't know about the Next.js or Tailwind CSS, don't worry, I'm gonna teach you everything from the basic, even though you don't know anything. Okay, so guys, let's talk about the technology and what are the technology we are going to use in this particular course. About the technologies, obviously we are going to develop this application in React. Okay, and we are going to use Next.js 13 as our React framework. Okay, and if you don't know about how to use Next.js or you never used before, don't worry, we are going to learn how to use the Next.js 13 in our React application. Okay, so next we are going to use a map, the Google Map API. Okay, and so whatever the services we are going to use in this application is completely free. Okay, even Google Map is also free. Only thing, in some countries you have to add the credit card, debit card details. That's only for their verification purpose. But every month you will get a $200 of credit with no charge. So that's sufficient for the development purpose or a small startup as well. Then for the authentication, we are going to use a clerk. Okay, that's also completely free, and clerk is quite easy to integrate in any web application, React or Next.js application. Okay, and that we will learn everything from the scratch. Okay, next we are gonna use Stripe payment gateway, which is one of the best payment gateway in the market right now. And if you are from any country, don't worry, Stripe is work for you. Okay, it's very easy to integrate and very simple. And Last but not least, we are gonna use a Tailwind CSS, which is one of the best CSS library in the market currently. Okay, and that's also we are going to learn from the scratch how to use this Tailwind CSS and everything. Okay, if you are already experienced the Tailwind CSS, then it's very good. But if you don't have, don't worry, we will gonna learn in this particular course. And last, again, we are going to deploy our application on Vercel. Okay, completely free. So guys, before doing any further delay, let's begin to develop this beautiful Uber 2.0 clone application. Okay, so let's get started. In order to build the React application, we are going to use Next.js, which is one of the best React framework for the web application. So if you go to this nextjs.org, and this is the official page for the Next.js, and here if you see, right, it gives all these things you can do with the Next.js, and it's very easy to create the next application with this particular command. So copy this command, then go to the desired folder where you want to create the project, and inside that just open the terminal. Okay, so let me increase the size, and now paste the command which you copied. Okay, like this. So it's npx create next app at latest. Okay, once you entered, it will ask you to proceed, say yes, and then you have to provide the project name. So in this case we can say Uber clone, and it will ask you, do you want to use TypeScript? So for this project we are not going to use TypeScript, we will use the JavaScript. Say for this, say no. The ESLint, say no. So it will ask to install Tailwind CSS, say yes. So you don't need to externally install the Tailwind CSS or manually install Tailwind CSS. This particular command will help us to install Tailwind CSS as well. Next, you have to say no. The app router, obviously we need it, so yes, and allows for no. Okay, and then if you see, it installing some of the command for us. Okay, so like react dom next. Okay, and also some dev dependency for the Tailwind CSS. So we'll wait for a few seconds, and once it's done, we will open that particular project in VS Code, and if you see, our project is get created. Okay, so here now you have to just you can open the VS Code from here, or just close this window and open the VS Code to open the given folder. Okay, so go to the open folder and just navigate to your project, the Next.js, and here it's Uber clone. So open it. Okay, and if you see, our folder structure is showing on the left hand side. Now here, if you see, inside the app folder we have the global.css, which define the global style sheet. Then we have the layout.js. Okay, which is the we can say the starting point. Okay, so whatever the component or pages is going to render will render inside this children tag. Okay, so these are the HTML body, and it also have metadata. So this will helpful when you are adding the SEO for your application. Then we have default page called page.js. When you run this application, this particular page.js will get rendered. Okay, so we'll run the application soon. Okay, then we have this public folder which contain the all the assets like image and font or whatever you want to add, you can put it in the public folder. And then we have this next.config.js, which help us to configure some of the settings only for the next application. Okay, in packet.json we have the script to run the application, the name of the application along with the version code, some dependency which it installed. These are the default dependency. Okay, then we have this post css and tailwind config.js for the Tailwind CSS configuration. Okay, so for this project we are going to use Tailwind CSS, and if you see currently the all the content inside the page folder, the component folder and app folder, the Tailwind CSS is applicable. If you have different folder and you want to add the Tailwind CSS, for that one you have to add the root content here. Okay, inside the Tailwind CSS. Now let's run the application. Now In order to run this Next.js application, let's go to terminal on the top hand side. Okay, so click on that one and just say new terminal. Okay, so it will open the terminal at the bottom. Here you have to type npm run dev. Okay, so it will run our application in development mode. Okay, and if you see, it's opened the application in localhost port 3000. Okay, and so just click command I click, or you have, if you are using window, just say control click. Okay, and then it will open the localhost 3000. And if you see, this is the default page, which is the page.js. Now let's go back to our application, and inside the page.js, right, whatever you is showing here, right, in this HTML form, it displaying on the screen. Now let's go back here, and if I try to change something, right, it will reflect it on the screen immediately. So let's try to update something. So if I say here, subscribe to tube Guruji. Okay, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. And let's remove this one, save it, and let's go back to application. And if you see the change, okay, so immediately it will reflect it on the screen. Now obviously we don't need this code, so I will remove this particular code. Okay, and inside this return we'll add simple div. Okay, so if you don't know how this method use or function use, right, it's very simple. Default, it's just exporting this function so that you can use throughout the application, and inside the return you are using the HTML content to display it on the UI side. Okay, so that's the reason it return everything whatever you return in this return tag will display it on the UI. Okay, also one more thing before going or start developing. Okay, we are gonna use two VS Code extension actually. So one is ES7 plus React Redux React Native. Okay, make sure to install this extension. And also there is another one for the Tailwind CSS. Okay, so these two extensions we need it and very useful while developing the application. Okay, when you are trying to create a new component or new page, right, you don't need to write this particular template. So this particular ES7 plus extension will help you to write this template automatically within a 1 second. Okay, and Tailwind CSS obviously used to give the suggestion when you are writing the Tailwind CSS classes. Okay, so once we start writing the code, you will get to know much better. So I hope so you understand how to run the application and the folder structure, and make sure to add these two extension for the VS Code. We're gonna add the authentication or login sign up page in our application, and for that one we are gonna use the clerk. Okay, so clerk is the free user management tool. Okay, and for the authentication, and if I go to the pricing, if you see, right, up to 50,000 monthly active user you can able to sign up for your application. Okay, so obviously if you have small business or startup, this clerk is quite helpful and is completely free. And if you don't have an account, let's create a new account with the help of the clerk. Okay, so just create account, and once you create the account, go to the dashboard, and here you will find to create a new add application option. Okay, so just click on add application. So here it asking you for the application name, so we can give Uber clone. Okay, then by default the email address sign in option is enable. You can enable Google. You have plenty more you can add it, like for example you can add Facebook, you can add Apple. So in this case let's add Google, Facebook and Microsoft. Okay, like this, and see how beautifully it's showing on the screen. Now just say create app, and then it will create application for you. Okay, now if you see the quick start guide for our Next.js, right, and these are the some of the configuration or keys you need to add in your application. So copy this both the keys, and let's go back to our application, and inside the root directory let's create a new file called .env.local. Okay, so here we'll save all our API keys. Okay, so just paste the API keys which you copied and save this one. Next, just scroll down, or just you can say continue in docs. And here are some of the steps you need to follow to integrate the clerk inside the Next.js. Okay, and obviously once we integrate, I will walk through this dashboard as well, okay, how to use it. But before that, let's add this clerk inside your Next.js. Okay, so copy this particular command and add a new terminal and paste it here like this. Click enter. Then we already added this environment keys, okay, so don't need to add it again. Just scroll down. Next we need to add this clerk provider. Okay, so our content we need to wrap it. So we have the app router method, okay, and inside the layout.tsx, obviously we are using js, so it's a layout.js. We have to wrap our html content inside this clerk provider. Okay, so copy this one, go back to our layout.js, and inside here just wrap this html like this. Okay, so cut and paste it here, and make sure to import the clerk provider like this, and then save it. Okay, then scroll down little more, and here you need to create a new file called middleware.js. Okay, or make him or a ts whatever, and then you have to paste this code. So inside this root directory, go back and create a new file called middleware.ts, and then copy this content. Okay, so this particular file will help you to protect your application, okay, from the any hacking or something like that. Okay, so it's providing the security for your application. Next we need to build a two different page. One is sign in and sign up page. Okay, so obviously we have to create a folder called sign up. Inside that we have to add this sign up folder again, and then page.tsx. So what we can do, just copy this particular path. Okay, let's go back to our application. Inside the app folder, let's add a new file and page complete path. Okay, and instead of tsx we'll add js. Okay, like this. And now copy this all this content inside this particular page and save it. Same thing you have to do for the sign in page. Okay, so copy this particular path. So this will automatically create a folder and the files. Okay, and if you see, it's created sign in folder. Again inside that we have double bracket sign in and then the file, and again you have to paste this particular code inside here and save it. Okay, after that you have to add the environment variable inside the env.local. Okay, so copy this one, go back to our env.local, and after this just add this 4 lines of code. Okay, perfect. And this use button I will tell you later on. But now let's go back to our application. Okay, so let's open localhost 3000, and yeah, if I open this folder, right, see how this particular beautiful clerk authentication UI is showing on the screen. Okay, so this is how it used. For example, if I click try to log in with the Google, and it will redirect to the Google. Okay, and now you can log in. But before that, now let me walk through with the dashboard of the clerk, so that you can even customize this particular UI. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard, and here if you see, right, you have some option like user authentication, and you have option to enable, for example, for social authentication, the phone, and lot of different things, right? So right now we enable Google, Facebook, the Microsoft. Okay, you can enable a lot of different option for your authentication of the application. Even though you can customize your login UI. Okay, so this particular UI, whatever you are seeing on the screen, you can change it. You can change this color and everything. Okay, so let's try to add the logo. Okay, so you can just upload the logo. So I have one logo for the Uber. Okay, so I will upload that one and open. Okay, and let's, what else we can add, let's save this one. Obviously once you upload it, it will automatically save. But if I refresh the screen now, you see the Uber image or icon logo is showing on the our authentication page. Now after that you can even change the color. So if you go to the avatar section here, Okay, you can change the color as well. So for example, if you want black color, you can select the black and apply, say apply changes, and let's refresh the screen and see whether it's reflected here or not. Okay, I don't know why it's not reflected. Let me go back. Oh, so this is the outer color. Actually it's a different than what we are updating, but you can just explore. Okay, and then you will see a lot of different things to customize it or to apply some different type of UI or everything. Okay, next we're gonna develop the login screen, right? Our login sign in, a basic sign in is ready, but we want to add the complete UI or sign in page. Okay, now here I already added some of the assets in our public folder. Okay, so one is the this logo and another is the banner, user banner. Okay, so we will use this one. So let's close everything and let's go first to the sign in page. Okay, so inside this sign in page, uh, let me wrap this in a circular bracket. Okay, and then we will add one div. Okay, so inside div we need to put this sign in page. Okay, because it's React only allowed the one tag, closing tag. Okay, you can add multiple closing tag like this. For example, if you try to do like this, it will give you the error. Okay, so you have to obviously write in one single section, or you can do like this as well. Okay, so if I add the empty tag, you can do like this. Okay, and that's also acceptable. Now here first thing we will add the image. Okay, so we are gonna add image from the next/image, and if you see, it's importing from the next/image. Okay, and then you have to provide the source. Obviously we'll add the closing tag. So in this case, right, the source is our public folder. Okay, so if I go to this public folder, we have this user banner, and you don't need to provide a complete path actually. Okay, so you just need to give the file name, because we already added the files in this public folder. Okay, and automatically when you are trying to provide some path for the image or some assets, Next.js will obviously check for the public folder first. Okay, so here you can say uber banner dot jpeg. Okay, like this, and obviously here you have to give width. So I will give width 1000 like this because I want full screen. Let's add, and height, let's give 1000. Okay, obviously we gonna add the class name. Okay, these are the Tailwind CSS classes we're gonna add. So first thing, I will add object content, and if you see, right, as soon as I try to write it, right, I'm getting this suggestion, and that's because we added the Tailwind CSS extension in the VS Code. Now we want the height to be full, width to be full. Okay, like this, and save it. And if I go back to our application, if you see, it's showing the full screen. Okay, but our login page is going down. So what you need to do, wrap this sign in one div, paste it here, and then you can say class name, class name absolute, then top to 10, and right we want 0. And if you see, now it's showing perfectly fine. Okay, now obviously you can centerize it. Okay, but right now I think that's good. Okay, do 20 and perfect. Okay, so our login page is almost ready, and this is how it looks when user land for first time. Okay, if I localhost 3000 like this, and this is how it lands on first time. Now once you log in it, right, it will go to the next page. Let's try to log in it. The gameplay app, I will log in with a sign in account, and it will check, and if you see, it's landed on the home page. Okay, now let's remove this CSS actually from the global CSS. I will remove this CSS, and if you see, now home page is showing on the screen. Okay, and that's what we have, the default page inside this page.js. Okay, the home page. Now obviously what we can do, there is one tag inside the clerk called user button. Okay, And if I add that one, if you see this importing from the clerk slash Next.js and save it, and this will give the user profile icon like this. Okay, if I try to click it, this is how it show. Okay, so once I click it, it will give the manage account section, sign out section. You can even though sign out from this account as well. Okay, and then the user's name with the email. If I click manage account, you can see all the details. Okay, where your account is get login and everything. Okay, you have security option, you have account option, you can even add new email or you can connect a new account as well. Okay, see. So I hope you understand how to integrate the clerk inside the Next.js application, and also we beautifully show or design this login screen as well. Okay, so guys, if you have any question until this point, let me know in the comment section, and then we'll start designing the header section of the our application. At the header for our application. Okay, so let's go back to our project, and here to the root directory, right? We will create the component folder. Okay, and don't misspell this folder name, because otherwise the Tailwind CSS will not get applied to that particular folder. Okay, so add the components, and inside that component we'll create a new file called header.js, and add the default template like this and save it. Now obviously let's go back to the app folder, and inside the layout.js we're gonna add this header. Okay, now we want this particular header throughout the application, and that's the reason we are adding it here. Okay, like this, so that it will be available throughout the application. Okay, and make sure that you added this header as an import statement and save it. And if you go back to our application now, let's refresh it, and if you see, the header is showing on the screen. Okay, now let's try to implement it. First of all, what I will do, I will add a constant called header menu. Okay, so whatever the menu I want to show it, I will put it in the list format. So I will add id1, the name of the header I will call ride, and the icon path I will give, so in this case is taxi.png. Okay, so I already added the assets here like box or the taxi. Okay, and I will copy paste existing one, we'll go id2, and we'll call package called box. Okay, and save it. Don't know, box is coming at jpg, let's give jpeg. Now let's add the image, one div here. Okay, and inside that let's add the image tag. Okay, called source, and here we will add the logo first. So I will use the logo.png, give width, so in this case we'll give width of 70, height to be maybe 70, and we also give alt tag, so we can call logo, and save it. And if I go back to here, see, the logo is showing on the screen. Okay, now let's give some padding and margin. So for this div, I will add the padding of 4, I will add padding bottom to 3, okay, padding left to 10. Okay, and also we'll add the border to the bottom only to be 4 pixel, and we'll change the border color to gray. Okay, so we'll gray 200, that's really good, and save it. And if I see the the header section is showing with the logo and this beautiful border as well. We can give margin to be 5, that's much better. Okay, next we'll iterate this list of menu. Okay, so we have the header menu and we will iterate this one. So after this particular image, I will add one div, and here in order to iterate you have to write in curly braces header menu dot, you have to map it, and then you can say item, and the arrow function like this. Okay, it's very important that you will give the arrow function similar like this. Okay, and then inside that we will add the image source. Okay, sorry, and the tag, and inside here we will write the item dot icon. Okay, so if you see, this is the icon we want to display it, okay, inside the image. And obviously we need to provide the width, so we'll provide width of 17, height of 17 like this. Okay, and save it. And if you see, the width and height showing on the screen, so this particular image is broke. Let's see why. So taxi will be in JPEG again. Okay, so like this, and yeah, now it's showing. Then after that I will add the h2 tag to show the name. So I will add item dot name, and let's give the styling to this. So add class name, text of 14 pixel, and then font medium like this, and save it. Okay, if you see, it's showing on the screen. Now what you have to do, bring everything in one line. Okay, so for this particular div, let's add a class name, add a flex, and also gap of 6. Okay, and make item to be in the center. This need to be gap 6 and item to be center, and we see it will be in one line. Okay, let's bring this one as well in one line. So add flex, and we'll add gap of 2, item to be in the center, and save it. Okay, now we need to bring this as well in one line. Okay, so to this particular div we'll add class name of flex, then we'll add a gap of 6, not 6, we'll add more actually, 24 maybe, an item to be in the center. Okay, like this. And now we also want this particular user button at the right hand side, right? So let's add the user button. Okay, so after this particular div we'll add that user button. Okay, and let's add style, so flex, item to be in the center, and here we'll say justify between, so it will be at the right hand side like this. Okay, perfect. And this is our header section. Okay, so it's very easy, right, and easy to handle. Now one more thing I want to show you here right before moving to the next section. Here we can change the font as well. Okay, and it's very easy inside the next. Okay, so go to this layout.js, and right now if you see, we have the inter font by default. Okay, so it obviously, when you create the application, the Next.js application, the interform is already applicable, and which is the default font for the application. Now here you can change the font. Okay, you just need to import the Google font which you wanted. So for in this case, if I want to Montserrat, right, this one particular font, just copy this. I will change this method name to this Montserrat. Okay, you can keep this constant name as it is, or you want change, you can change it and save it. And if you see, the font is changed immediately, and this font now is applicable throughout the application as well. Okay, and this is how easy you can add the font to the application. Okay, just you need to add this particular font into the import statement, and if you observe this one, right, and this font is coming from the next Google font. Okay, just add this inside your import statement, and boom, you are done. Okay, this is how easy you can add it. So we are pretty much completed the header section. Okay, until this point, if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. And if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. we need to add the layout. Okay, so on the 1/3 of this particular screen, we're gonna show the search functionality where user can search for the source address, destination address, and then click on search. Then he will get the all the options to write the particular about taxi, everything. Okay, on the right hand side we are going to show the Google map. Okay, so for that one we need to add the layout first. So go to this page.jsx. Okay, and let's remove this user button because we don't need it. And inside this page js, let's add one div. Okay, oh, add two more div actually. So in this div we will say search, and here we'll show Google map. Okay, so if I open it, right now it's showing like this one after other. Now obviously to this div, add a class name. First add padding of 6, and then we will add the grid. Okay, and we'll add the grid column 1. Okay, so this grid by default showing grid column 1 when the screen size is smaller. Okay, but if you are smaller to larger as well. Okay, but if you specify for when the screen size is medium, I want to show grid columns of 3. Okay, let's give gap as well. Now if I go back here, if you see, it's showing like this. Okay, also for this particular div you want 2/3 of the screen, so you have to specify it like this, column span 2. Okay, and save it. And now this search functionality get 1/3 of the screen size, and this Google map get the 2/3. Okay, now if I decrease the screen size and see what happened, see the Google map particular div is come below this search because we define the grid, right, when the screen size is smaller. Okay, or once it touches to medium, obviously it will convert to the column 3, but if it's less than medium screen size, then only one column will show, and obviously it will show first the search and then Google map. Okay, so I hope you understand this one, this layout function. This is very important where you are trying to divide this particular screen inside into the layout, right? And obviously you have to make sure that whenever you are dividing the screen, okay, or adding any layout, it should be responsive, and that's the reason you have to provide specifically for what screen the what will be the layout. Okay, so that's the reason we show added this medium screen size grid layout as well. So I hope you understand this one. Okay, let's move to the next section. If you see on the left hand side, right, this is the just a prototype. This is how we're gonna add this search functionality. Okay, so and then on the right hand side we have the Google map. Okay, so we need a two input boxes, called one for the pickup location and another for the drop up location, and then button. Okay, so let's go back to our application, and then inside the component folder we will create a new folder called home. Okay, and all the home related components we will keep inside this home folder. Okay, and inside that I will add the search section.js like this. Okay, add the default template. Now here is the magic of the extension which we added. Okay, the ES7 plus React snippet. So you just need to type RFCE. Okay, and if you see it's nothing but a React functional export component. Click enter and boom, you got the default template for your application. Okay, you don't need to write everything from the scratch. Now save this one, and also I will create a new another file called Google map section.js for the Google map. Okay, add the default template, save this one, and add this both the template inside the page.js, which is our home page. So I'll add search section and then Google Maps section like this, and save it. And let's go back to application, and if you see we got search section and Google Maps section. Now let's go to the search section, remove this particular code, and here we will add the p tag and we'll say get a right. Okay, Obviously we'll add some styling to this one, so add class name, we'll add text of 20 pixel. Now if you observe, right, I'm writing inside this curly braces, right, because I'm giving the custom size, right? So it's saying custom size. Whenever you want to give custom size, you have to provide inside this square bracket, right? But if I try to write like this, right, like I will say 2xl, right, and if I hover on this one, so if you see the 2xl is nothing but your equivalent to font size 24 pixel, okay, and the line height of 32 pixel. But whenever you want to give custom, you can give like this. Okay, next we will add okay, let's go back and let's see how it looks right now. Okay, oh sorry, say 20 pixel, and go back here, and if you see, it look like this. Okay, also I will change this font to bold, add font bold, and save it. Then for this div I will add a class name padding of 2. Okay, and when the screen size is medium, I want to increase the padding and we'll make the padding of 5. Okay, then we'll add the border of 2 pixel. Okay, and we'll add the rounded XL like this and save it. You see, perfect. We'll add more padding actually. Okay, then after this we need to add the input field, right? Now instead of writing this code, because we obviously we want 2 input field, right, and 2 times we are going to copy our same code, right? To avoid that one, I will create a new component and we can call input item.js, add the default template, and obviously I will add the input type here now, input item, sorry. Okay, so obviously I want 2, so I will add 2. Okay, and if you see right now it's showing on the input item 2. Now let's go back to this input item. Now inside this input item, let's add the image. Okay, and add the source. Obviously this source is nothing but slash source. Let's see what is the extension for that one. So inside public folder we have source.jpg. Now here I will give source.png, and obviously we need to give width and height, so we'll give width of 15 and height of 15. Okay, and save it. Then we need to add the input. Now this input is, we need a small HTML tag input. The type is of text and end the tag. Okay, and save it. Let's see how it looks. Okay, add the placeholder as well. So here I will add the placeholder like pickup location and save it. And if you see, we got this one. Okay, now let's apply some style. So first of all, let's add a class name to this div, parent div. So we'll add background slate 200, then padding of 3. We'll make rounded corner to be large, margin top to 3. Okay, and save it. Now if you see, okay, now we want this icon and this particular text box in one line. So for that one we'll add the flex, then item to be in the center, and we'll give some gap of like 4. Okay, and see, it will be in one line. Now for this particular input, right, if you see the background is white, right, so make it transparent. So add the styling to this one, add background to be white, oh sorry, the transparent, and then after that we'll make width to be full. Okay, and save it. Now if you see, the background is now gone. But if I click on it, right, we got this outline, right? Remove that outline as well. So just say outline none, and then this will help us to remove this outline. Okay, perfect. But now the thing is, both is showing the placeholder as a pickup location and the icon is showing similar, right? But we want the source icon and destination icon need to be different, right? So for that one, go to search section, and here you have to provide the input type. Okay, so I can give, like, for example, this is source, and for type we can say this is the destination. So what we are doing, we are sending this two value to this input field. Okay, input item component, and here accept it as a type. Now you have to write one condition. If type is equal to source, then show this source png, otherwise show the destination.png file. Okay, and save it. And if you go back to our application, now it's showing. Okay, so something is error. Okay, so we need a slash here. Okay, now if you see, the icon change. Same thing you have to do with this placeholder name. Okay, so wrap this in curly braces, called type is equal to, because this is the ternary operator, okay, like if else condition. And if the type is source, show the pickup location, otherwise show the drop off location, like this. Okay, and save it. Perfect. Now let's add the button. So let's go to search section, and here we will add the button. Okay, so for button, just say button, and inside that I will write search. Let's give some styling, so add class name. I will add a padding of 3. Background color we want black, so just say bg black. Then width to be full, we'll give some margin from the top. No, sorry, and obviously, sorry, the text need to be white. Okay, and make the rounded corner to be rounded large. And if you see, the search button is showing. Okay, perfect. Let's add, okay, so this need to be padding actually. Okay, perfect. Now our search section is pretty much completed. Okay, we will add the actual logic here. Okay, means when user type something, obviously we need to accept it and pass it to the API, so that we'll get some suggestion for the address. Okay, and same thing for the source and destination input field. Okay, and then after clicking search, we will get the result. So that particular functionality we will add later on, but I hope you understand how we beautifully and easily design this UI component for the search section. Now when user want to search some address, right, we need to give some suggestions. Okay, and obviously that will applicable for source and destination, and that's where the Google Autocomplete will help us to give that suggestion and everything. Okay, so first of all, just search for Google Cloud, okay, console. And guys, it's completely free. Okay, when I'm saying completely free, it means you will get a $200 of credit every month. Okay, and that's much or too much if you are developing something for a small business. Okay, and so don't worry, only thing that depends on the country, you need to add the credit card or debit card. Okay, but it will not charge you anything, okay, until unless you reach some point, and I'm show you how to do that. Okay, first of all, let's go to the billing, and once you are in the billing section, right, on the left hand side, you will see the budget and alert. Okay, this is very important, so that you will not get any issue. Okay, so here inside this budget and alert, you will see you can create a new budget. Okay, so right now I created $5 of budget, and if you spend 25%, okay, it means they will charge you, they will send you the some alert or some notification on email. Okay, that time you can stop it, your service, if you don't want to spend the money. Okay, and if you see here, right, So right now it's saying it includes 31.22 credit. Okay, it means I already have the $200 of credit free uses. Okay, and that's what it's all about. Okay, because I spent $31 in this particular month, and that is detected from the $200, which credit is Google gave us for free. Okay, so don't worry about that one as well. Now, very important, let's go back here and click on this API and services. Okay, once you land on this API and services, right here you can search API like place API. Okay, and once you search for place API, right, because right now I already enable that services. Okay, but if you did not enable, just click search it and enable that particular services. Okay, and after that go to the credential, click on create credential, and here you need to create a new API key, and that's all. Okay, so I already created new API key, and make sure once you create the API key it will be restricted to your website. Right now I'm not restricted because I'm working in the development mode. I want to show everything, right? That's the reason. And here you got the API key. Please don't copy mine. Anyway, I'm going to restrict this API key. Okay, and if you see, this is restricted to certain website or certain IP address as well. Okay, so guys, once you create the API key, now you have the API key. What you need to do, you need to add that API key in your application. So just copy that API key. So let me copy this one, go back to our application, and inside the .env .local, after this I will add that one. So I will add Google API underscore key is equal to, and paste that key. Okay, and also I will add next public Google API key is equal to same key. Okay, the reason that Google next public, right, whenever you are using the key on the client side, it means when you are using on the front end side, you have to use this next public Google API key, and when you are developing or adding the API key inside the API, then you have to use Google API key. Okay, and save everything. Now interesting thing, to implement the drop down functionality, right, autocomplete functionality, and for that one we are going to use this React Google Place autocomplete, and that's where magic begins. It's quite easy and you don't need to do anything. I will show you how to do it, and very easily, right? So just say get started. First of all, let's install this dependency. So let's go back to our application, paste this in your terminal, and boom, it will install the dependency for you. Okay, then scroll down little bit, and then you will find this how to use this particular component. Okay, so this is the component that we need to use. So copy this Google Place autocomplete component, and let's go back to inside the home component. We have the input item, right? Here we'll keep this one for now. What you can do, you can comment this input. Okay, and place this Google Place autocomplete. Okay, here you need to import the statement like this. Okay, perfect. Now once you import, make sure that import statement is get added. After this you have to provide some of the properties. Okay, but before that let me show you one few more things. Okay, so if you scroll down, right, this is the value you will get it on value and on change method, right? So copy this one and paste it here. So I will paste it here like this. Okay, and add that one at the select props. Okay, like this, and save it. Okay, and now go back to our application, refresh the screen if it's working, and if you see saying the this particular component only used in the use client. Obviously you have to make this component use client. When you define this as a use client, it means this particular components will work on the client side only, and this is not a server side component. Okay, very important. Now use state is not defined, make sure to add the use state. So like this, and save it. Now it's saying Google script is not loaded. Okay, because we are not providing any API key to this one, right? And it's confused how which one what need to use and everything. So for that, this one you have to provide the API key, and API key obviously we are getting from process.env file, means from our environment file, and you have to use this next public Google API key and then save it. Okay, and if you see, we got this drop down. Now if I try to type something, you will get the suggestion, see, and that is coming from the Google API plus Autocomplete API. Okay, but you don't need to make any configuration, it directly works for you. Okay, perfect. Now the point is how to style this component, because this is very complicated. All right, so if I go back here and go to this prop section, and here it will define how to do it, or no, maybe in basic only. So if you see, let's go to example. So if you see, right, the customization section here, you can use this to style the component. Okay, so there are few components we need to style it for. First of all, what I can do, let's go back here. Okay, and inside this select props, we'll add the placeholder. Okay, so placeholder, for example, in this case we'll add pickup location we want to change, and then save it, and let's see how it looks. And if you see, the placeholder is get added. Okay, then we can add is clearable. So is clearable will help us. Let me show you before how it works, right? If I try to search something, right, try to find not trying, okay, something like this, and click it, right, you don't see to clear this particular value, right? So that's the reason this is clearable will help. So you can make this value true, so that now if I try, if you get this cross button, if I click on this, see, the enter text, you can delete it. Okay, then let's add the class name. Okay, and here I will add the width to be full. Okay, so in this case you can apply Tailwind CSS as well. Okay, and if I do it right, see, the width is full now. Okay, perfect. Next, you have to add component. Okay, and what we want to do, we want to remove this drop down. Okay, don't want it, so you can just say in the inside the component the drop down indicator and make it false. Okay, once you make this false, see, okay, perfect. Now let's apply some styling to this particular component. Okay, so after this one, just say styles. Okay, and we need to get this particular layout. So I will copy this layout for now, paste it here, and instead of input, I want to apply to this complete control. Okay, so and here you can just say, let's remove color and just say background color to be transparent, right? So for transparent, we have the code called 00 FFFF00 and save it. Okay, let's go back and check whether it's working or not. And if you see, now it's matching with the background color. So background color we made transparent. Also make the border to be none. Okay, so we also remove the border, and see, now it's actually adding the design beautifully. Okay, now you can search it whatever you want, and see, beautiful, you can even close it. Okay, perfect. So this how easily we added the autocomplete functionality inside the React with the help of this React Google plus autocomplete library. Okay, and this is very useful, very easily we added. You don't need to make any API call for that one, because obviously you need to make any many API call, but in this case you don't need to make it. With the help of API only, you will get the drop down functionality. Okay, perfect. So guys, if you have any question, you can just send me the DM me on my Instagram channel. Also, I'm going to give you a one-to-one help to anyone. Okay, if you join my channel, and please subscribe to my channel as well. We have lot of things to learn in this particular course, so be tuned and share this video with your friends as well. Okay, now let's move to the next section. We have the source address and destination address. we need to get the latitude and longitude for source and destination. Okay, so for that one, let's go back to our application, and inside here we will inside the input item actually. So let's go to the input item, and over here we're gonna call one method. Okay, so I will write constant get latitude and longitude. Okay, like this, and inside that one, right, we're gonna call this method. So once we use select the particular address, right, so on change method, here we're gonna call our method. So here we can write get latitude longitude, and here I will pass this place information. Okay, so just say place, and along with we pass the type as well, whether it's a source input or destination input. Okay, and also we'll set the value. So just we'll say set value, and we'll pass set value, we will set the value as a place. Okay, perfect, and save it. Now let's go back to our application, but before that let's add the place and type over here. Okay, and what we can do, we can just console the place and type and save it. Now let's go back to application, open the inspect panel, go to the console, let's clean everything. So now here I will type 155 Kali loop and select it. Okay, so on select right now, I don't know what's this error, but it's supposed to print the information, right? So let's see what's we miss here. So this is on pane, we get this and get latitude longitude, and we need to console it actually. So I forgot to refresh because network was not up to date, but now if I try it now, okay, and if I click it, if you see, we got the label and it's saying that it's of type source. Okay, same thing if I try to enter something, and it's saying this is a destination and this is the information. Okay, perfect. Now if you observe carefully, okay, inside the value we have the place id. Okay, and with the help of this place id we need to get latitude and longitude. Okay, because inside this particular result, right, we don't have the latitude and longitude, and with the help of some different method we need to fetch it. So now we have the place information. Okay, so let me remove this particular console. I will remove this commented information. Okay, now inside the get latitude and longitude we'll write one method. So first of all, let's say constant, and we'll save place id inside this. So place dot value dot place underscore id. From that one we'll get that particular id. Then we have to define one service. So we will say constant service is equal to new google dot maps dot places service, and inside that we will write document dot create element and div. Okay, now once we define this service, we have to write service dot get details. Okay, and here we have to pass place id first. Okay, the one which we used to store this place id as a constant, then comma we'll get the result as a place, comma status. Okay, so this need to be actually circular bracket and then arrow function. Okay, like this. Now if the status is equal to okay, and we have the place dot geometry. Okay, and then we have the place dot geometry dot location. Okay, then we will console the place, we will just console the place dot geometry dot location dot latitude. Okay, and this will be the function, and same with the longitude. But let's print out latitude. Okay, so if you go back here, Let me clean this one. Let me refresh it. And 1.5 char loop. Click on this one, and if you see, we got this latitude. Okay, perfect. In the same way, if I add the longitude function, we will get the longitude as well. Okay, now the thing is, we know the type as well. Okay, and we need to store this source and destination so that throughout the application we can use this information. Okay, so for that one we can obviously pass this information back to the child component as well, but if we want to use in some other component as well, we just need to pass from one to another, another to another. Okay, and this will be a very complicated. So for that one we are going to use context. So if you don't know about the context, so let me tell you, the context is used to whenever we store the value, and that value will be accessible throughout the application. Okay, so let's try it practically. Okay, how it works actually. Okay, so I will create a new folder at the root directory called context, and inside that one I will create a new context called name source context.js. Okay, and we create another one, and you can call it as a destination context.js. So these two contexts will help us to store the source information and destination information. So here I will say export constant, and we'll give the same name as the file name, source context is equal to create context. Okay, and pass this null. Okay, so once this is how simple it is, we can create the context. Okay, same thing we'll do it here. Okay, so let's export first. Export constant destination context is equal to create context. Okay, and if you see, this context is importing from the React. Okay, so this is the React inbuilt hook. Okay, and save it. Now we have the source context and destination context is kind of we create a memory or storage for in our application. Okay, now we will use this context in our home page, because right now our application is a single page application, and we're gonna use inside this page.js file. Okay, but you can use in the layout as well. So try it in layout and we'll see how it works. Okay, we now inside the page we're gonna use this context. Okay, so what I will do, we need to wrap this all this information inside the context. So I will just say source context dot provider. Okay, and the reason that we are wrapping, because so whatever the component we are defining inside this context provider, the value stored in this context will be accessible to all the components which is available inside this provider. Okay, as simple as that. Now obviously we need to provide the value as well. Okay, so let's define one state, and we can call it as a source comma set source is equal to use state. Okay, like this. And obviously I will create another one for the destination like this. Okay, now we pass source comma set source and another context called destination context dot provider, and we'll pass the value as a destination comma set destination, and also we'll wrap it like this. Okay, perfect, and save it. Now our context is ready, our setup is ready. Okay, now let's use this context to set the value first. Okay, and we know let's go back inside the input item. Okay, so over here we will use to store this value now. Okay, so we'll remove this one, but now if I will write if condition, if type is equal to source, right, we need to write condition, and another was else. If it's destination, it will go to the else block. Okay, before that we need to provide the we need to define this context, right? And if you see, right, I am using curly braces to define it. Okay, so we'll call source comma set source, okay, is equal to use context. Okay, And now here we will use the context. We need to provide the context name, and we can call source context. Okay, same thing we have to define for the destination, and make sure it's a curly braces. Set, sorry, destination comma set destination is equal to use state, and use context, and here we'll pass destination context. Perfect. Now we have the source context, destination context, and now this particular set source and set destination help us to set the value. Okay, so I'm providing this multiple fields, so I will write in a curly braces. First thing, I will add latitude, and will be a place dot geometry dot location dot latitude function. Okay, then we'll add longitude. Okay, and same way we will add it place dot geometry dot location dot longitude. Okay, then we need to provide the name, so it will be a full address. Okay, so it will be place dot formatted address. Okay, and then we need to add the label, just the name of the place, so it will be a place dot name. Okay, perfect. Same thing, we will copy it for the destination, except instead of set source we will use set destination and save it. Now we are saving this source and destination. Let's try to fetch this or display this console. Okay, so what I will do, I will copy this context from the and then inside the search section I will add it here. Make sure to import this statement for the use context, source context, same for this destination context. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll add the use effect method here. Okay, and over here we'll add the we'll just console the value. Okay, so here we'll say source if the source changes. Okay, so if you don't know how use effect is work, okay, so whenever we are whenever these components get load, this use effect will execute for every instance. Okay, if you did not provide this, if you define like this, for every second it will get execute. Okay, to avoid this and want to execute only once, you can define like this. Okay, so when the component load, it will execute only once. But if you want to execute for certain condition, you have, for example, in my case, we want to execute when the source data changes. Okay, when the source changes, we want to execute it, so that value you have to define here like this. Okay, and it same goes with the destination. Okay, so what I will do right now, we will try with the source. We'll write condition if source, if source is available, then just console.log this particular source. Okay, perfect, like this. And now let's save everything, go back to our application, and if you see, we got one error in the page.js that it's saying you cannot use state in a server side. So obviously you have to make this particular component as a use client. Okay, and let's refresh the screen. There's one more error in page.js, so let's make this component as well, use client, and save this one, and if you see, it's working perfect. Okay, now let's enter this information, and if you see, we got this result in search section. Okay, if you see the line number 14, if I go to this search section file, and this is line 14, and it's showing a source with the label, latitude, longitude, and the name as well. Okay, and obviously we did not print the destination, but we will get the destination address as well in the same way. Okay, so let's, if you want to print, let's print this out as well. And if I write the destination, we'll console.log and destination and save it. Okay, now let's close this one. Let's refresh the screen. So we'll write 155 Kali loop, and then we'll write the destination as a address like this. And if you see, right, we got this latitude. I don't know why destination did not came. So let's go back to input item, make sure the destination is correct. Now due to the spelling mistake, it was not printing, but now if I try to uh, search for the source, and we get this source information as well along with this uh, source and destination information. Okay, perfect. So this is how it works. Now we have the source information, we have the destination information along with the latitude, longitude, and the address and the label. Okay, now this information we gonna use to show it on the map with a marker, and then we will draw the route as well. Okay, perfect. So until this point, if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. And if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. So and now we are gonna add the Google map. Okay, but before implementing the Google map, if you see this particular Uber map, right, it's little custom styled. Okay, so they applied a custom styling to this particular map, and then they use this particular map. Now the question is, how can we custom our own Google map? Okay, so the answer is very simple. Just search for Google styling wizard, okay, map, and something like this, and you will find this first link which saying styling wizard. Okay, so the URL is mapstyle.withgoogle.com. Okay, first go to this cloud console, so it will open in a different window, but here you can say use legacy JSON. Okay, now the thing is, this is the default Google map. Okay, you can create your own map. Right now if you see, we have different themes available. Okay, you can use any of this theme, but if you want to custom your map, just click on standard and go to the more option, and over here you can custom all of these things. Okay, for example, if I go to the highway, click all, and you, even though you can change this color, and you see suddenly this highway color get changed. Okay, and you can give whatever color you want. Okay, it's up to you. And once you finish the styling the map, you can just click finish, and then you have to copy this JSON object. Okay, so all this JSON you have to copy. Okay, once you copy this one, go to your this particular map style center in the Google Cloud Console, and you have to create a new style. Okay, inside this you have to import the JSON, and whatever the JSON you copied, you have to paste it here, and if you see, it instantly showing the result. Okay, so here if you see, we change this highway color to the purple one, right, and with the JSON it's showing the purple color. Okay, so this is how easily we can create the own map. So I already created this map for the Uber. Okay, and this is the particular map. Okay, if I write customize style, this is how it looks. Okay, and this is pretty much close to the what Uber map is using right now for the web application. Okay, so this map we are gonna use. Now another thing, you have after once you're done the creating the map style, you have to go to this map management, and here you have to create a map ID. Okay, you can give the name whatever you want and create map ID. After that you have to go back to the map style. Okay, open the map whatever you want to use, and here you need to add or assign that map ID. Okay, so that this particular map ID you can use in your application. Okay, obviously I will show you how to use that one, but make sure create the map ID from inside this map management, and then attach that map ID to your own custom style map. Okay, this is very important in order to use your own custom map. Okay, so if you have any question to this point, let me know in the comment section. And guys, one more thing, if you join this channel, I will give you a one-to-one session as well. If you have any question, any doubts, if you join this channel. Okay, so see you in the next section. In order to add the or integrate the Google map in our React application, we gonna use this particular React Google map API library. Okay, which is the one of the most downloaded Google Map API for the React. Okay, so very easy to install. You just need to copy this particular npm install dependency in your project. Okay, so go here and over here just paste this particular link and enter it. Okay, once it install, if you scroll down in the documentation, you will see this different types of the way they use, right? So let's copy this all of this content. Okay, so I will copy this content style and center. So right now this is the we can say dummy or default latitude and longitude. Okay, so let's close everything, and we already have this Google Map section, right? So in this component we'll paste this value, then we have this, we'll copy this one as well until this point. Okay, or let's copy everything actually, because we need everything. Copy like this and then paste it here. Okay, obviously you need to add the import statement, otherwise it will throw the error. So I will add this import statement as well here. Oops, like this. Okay, and save it. Now if you go back to application and reload this one, so let's see, it's saying oops, something went wrong. The reason is, if you see, you did not attach the API key. So that API key you have to attach, so it is in the environment variable, right? So process dot env dot, and just call, let me copy this name of the variable. So in this case is Google API key. Okay, and save it. Obviously if you see, right, we got the result. Now this is very important. Okay, in the Google Cloud Console, okay, if I go in the Google Cloud Console, here you have to search for the Google Map. Okay, and once you search here, you will see different API which you need to enable. Okay, so most of them I already enable, but if you did not enable, just make sure you will enable it. Okay, and if I go in map JavaScript API, make sure to enable this one, otherwise the map will not work. Okay, don't worry, the existing API can use it here. Okay, now let me go back here. Obviously if you see, right, you can able to see the map, but you can say, okay, you might have question why it is not showing the customized map, right, which we did. It will show, but obviously you have to provide the ID and everything. But before that, let's add a couple of things. Okay, so first thing, what we can do, I will add the width, okay, to be 100%. Okay, and if you see like this, and height I will give the window height. Okay, so we'll window dot inner width into 0.8. Okay, and save it, and let's see how it looks. See, like this. Okay, so maybe it's little larger, so I will go like 6 maybe. Yeah, that's maybe better, or less 5. Okay, okay, this is much better. Okay, now we have the map as well. Okay, and now let's give the latitude or longitude. Right now it's centered to this particular latitude and longitude. Okay, we have this API key as well here set up, and everything is there. Now in order to use the custom map ID, here you have to provide the options, and inside that you have to add the map ID. So map ID, and here you have to paste the ID for your style map, right? So this is the ID, so copy this ID and then here you have to paste it. Okay, and save it. Now if you go back, obviously it will take some time, a couple of refresh screen, but if you see, now it's here. Okay, and this is completely a custom Google Map for us. Okay, perfect. So this is how easily we can integrate the map in our application. And now obviously we need to add a lot of things, like we need to add markers, we need to add the route and everything. But if you understand how to add this custom map, and if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Okay, next we will learn how to add the marker for the source address and destination address. Once you just select the source, it will go jump to the source, and once you select the destination, it will jump to the destination as well. And from there we will learn how to show the route, and then we can move in our course. Okay, so I hope you understand this one, how to integrate this Google Map in our application with the help of this beautiful third-party library called React Google Map API. Okay, and we also added our custom map in our application. Now let's add the source and destination marker on the map. Okay, before that, let me show you one something. Okay, so right now we are getting one error. Okay, so if you scroll in the error, the inspect panel, right here, if you see this, right, you have included the Google Maps JavaScript API multiple times on this page. Okay, and that's caused an error. Okay, and the error is, if I try to search something, right, I'm not getting anything. The problem is we separately apply the API key for the search section, which is the autocomplete component, as well as we also applied the API key to this map. Okay, and that is obviously a single API, but we applied multiple times, correct? Now, in order to fix this issue, right, we need to put the API for both of this component. Okay, it means we need to wrap this component in one component so that we can pass our API to both of this component. Okay, but the question is, how can we do it? Okay, so for that one, we're gonna use a load script component. Okay, so let's go back to our application, and inside the first of all, in Google Maps section, right here, we will remove this particular is load function. Okay, so I will comment this out. Also, I will remove this is loaded option. Okay, and also I will remove this one. Okay, now if I try to save it, and if I go here and refresh the screen, obviously our map will not load. Okay, so it's saying Google is not defined, correct? That's fine, because we are not loaded the map. Okay, now what you need to do, in the search section as well, right, inside input item, we use this autocomplete, correct? And for autocomplete we added this API key, so remove this API key. Okay, and save it. Now go back to page.js, and inside here we will put our both this component inside one single API key. Okay, so before this div, you can add a component called load script, and if you see, this load script component is importing from the React map API. Okay, like this. So if you see, it's added. Now to this load component we will pass Google Map API key. Okay, and obviously that API key is coming from the process dot environment variable. Okay, dot, and I will just copy. So let's go env, and I will copy this next public API key. Okay, and put it here like this. Oops. Oh, let me copy back again. Control C and Control V. Okay, and end the tag. Now obviously we need to wrap all of this component inside the load script, so I will put this end tag over here. Okay, and save it. Now let's see whether we are getting anything or not. So let me refresh the screen, and it's saying Google Map place script not loaded. Okay, so in order to fix this error, let's go back to our application, and inside this load script, right, we also need to add one property, and which is library, and we need to tell to the this particular script that please allow for the places um, component. Okay, so whatever the autocomplete component we are providing, right, once we define this, it will give access to the place information as well. Okay, and now this error is gone. Now if I try to search it, right, if you see, we got the result, and that is work for both of these source and destination autocomplete drop down. Perfect. Now next thing, we need to get this all of this particular latitude longitude and save it into the center. Okay, it means let's go back to this Google Maps section, and here right now if you see, right, our center we defined, we added this latitude and longitude hard coded, right? So to update this one, so here I replace the hard coded center value and update it or save this into the state. Okay, so currently if you see when we load this particular map, right, it's center somewhere in at this location, right? But now whenever user enter the source value, we need to update this particular latitude and longitude for the center. Okay, so it's very easy. You need to add the use effect, and this use effect only execute when the source data is changed. Okay, so once user enter the source information, right, we gonna change this source value. Okay, so for example, here, right, we can write source, and each source has a length. Okay, so let me give the optional field and length, okay, which is not equal to empty, and map is loaded, then we will write the condition. Okay, so I don't know why this, okay, so it's not equal to like this. Okay, and that time we will update the center value, okay, like this. So obviously we have to provide latitude from the source dot latitude, comma, and longitude from source dot longitude, like this. Okay, and obviously when the source updated, this use effect will get execute, and then we will set the center value, okay, which is new center value. Let's save this one and let's test it out, because we already fetching this use context here. Okay, make sure that you define this context information, because whenever as I inform you told you before, right, whenever we updating the context, it will reflect throughout the application. Okay, now save this one. Let's go back to application. If you see right now, we got one error that expression must be variable property access. So let's see what's the issue. Okay, so by mistakenly we did this wrong. It need to be like this. Okay, and perfect. Let's reload this particular page and let's enter some information, right, and click it, and if you see, we jump to this particular location. Okay, same thing we gonna add for the destination as well. So let's copy this same use effect, and instead of source, we'll update to destination. Okay, like this, and save it. And if I go back, let's refresh it again. If I put some value like this, if I put here different value, see, it's moving. Okay, let me refresh it again, and let's try for this one. Okay, so 46 Mooresville, and if you see, destination also move to this different location. Okay, it means our source and destination is working fine. Now one more thing we can add is to move this particular we can give the smooth transition when it's moving to one location to a different location. Okay, and for that one we have to use pan to method. Okay, so over here, once you set the center, okay, or before the setting the center, we'll write a map dot pan to, and here we have to provide the latitude and longitude. Okay, so let's provide this latitude longitude and save it, and let's try this now. If I update some location, and if you see, it's moved to this particular location. Okay, like perfect, it means it's working perfectly fine. Now let's add the marker for it. Okay, so we have this center information, we have the source latitude longitude and destination latitude longitude. So inside this Google map component, we need to add the marker. Okay, so obviously we need two markers, one for source and one for the destination. So in order to add marker, you have to write marker f. Okay, and here you have to give the position. So position will be latitude, and obviously if source, then we have to give source latitude and longitude of this source. Okay, like this, and end the tag. Obviously we'll give some more information, like we can give the custom icon, but before that let's see how it looks. Okay, and also we need to write condition if source dot length is not equal to empty, then only show the marker, otherwise it will throw error. Okay, so to avoid this one, we added this marker and give null if the source is not available. Okay, and save it. Now let's go back to our application, refresh the screen and search for some address and enter it, and if you see, we got the marker at that particular location. Okay, but we need to update this marker. Okay, we don't want this particular image, so you can give your own icon as well. So it's very easy. We have to provide icon, and then inside the icon you have to write URL. Okay, so here you have to provide the local source URL. So in this case I will write source.png, and also you can give the scale size, okay, the height and width for this icon. So we can write width of 20, height to be 20. Okay, and save it. If I go back to application, refresh the screen, so whenever you change the marker or anything in the Google Map, make sure you have to refresh the complete screen manually. Okay, so let's add the address, click, and if you see, we got this marker. Okay, same thing you have to implement for the destination. So I will copy this existing marker logic and paste it for here, and here we will change to destination. Okay, and obviously here I want to change to destination and save it. Let's add destination address, enter. I don't know whether where is this address. Let's refresh it again and enter it. Okay, so address is not, sorry, the icon is not coming. So let me check the icon name. It need to be a DST only, DST. Okay, and now refresh the screen. Let's test it now, and if you see, we got the icon for this one as well. If I try source, we got this particular image. Perfect. Okay, so I hope you understand how to add this marker. Okay, it's quite easy. Just make sure that you made a correct configuration. Okay, and when you are trying to add the API, right, you have to add and wrap this all these components, Google Map and Autocomplete component, inside one component which is load script, and there you have to provide the API. Okay, in order to work both these components together. Okay, so if you have any question, any doubt, you can DM me anytime. And if you want one-to-one consultant or teaching guidance, you can join my channel. We search the source and destination, we want to show the label name near this marker. Okay, so for that one, we're gonna use a overview component. Okay, so go to this Google Map section, and inside this marker, right, we are gonna add that one. So let's close this one like this, and then marker map. Okay, oh sorry, the marker F like this, and inside this we need to add the overview. Okay, so this overlay view help us to give the text or whatever the value you want to provide, it will display near the marker. So this will be like overlay view. Okay, this one, enter it, and close this tag like this, and inside this you can provide the value. Okay, you can add the image, you can add the text, whatever you want. Okay, also you have to give the position where you want to show it. Okay, so in this case I will give the position, the similar position whatever we are providing for the source and the destination. Okay, so I will just copy paste it here like this, and then you have to do the map and name. Okay, and this will be overlay view dot overlay mouse target, or you can give anything. Okay, then inside the div, let's add the p tag, and here you can give the label. So if you remember, we save the label for the source and destination, so that label we will give it here. Okay, then save this one, and let's see how it looks. So let's go back here, refresh the screen, and search the source. And right now if you see, right, nothing is displaying on the screen. Let's give some color and everything. So in this case I will give the class name, and let's say text black. And what else? Let's give class name here, padding of 2. Save this one. So here just change this to overlay F instead of overlay view. Okay, so once we change this overlay view F, and if you see, we got this result. Okay, so I just added this sample as a text, but you can change this to source dot label and then save it, and if you see, we got the result. Okay, same thing you have to implement for the destination. So I will copy this one and we'll put inside this destination marker. Okay, first of all, let's close this marker like this, and then you can add overlay. Instead of source, we will change it to the destination and save it. And let's go back to application. So right now it's only showing the source. Let's search for some address for the destination, and if you see, we got the result for this destination as well. Okay, so if you see, we got the source and destination information along with the label. Now obviously you can change the size, text, whatever you want. Okay, so if I change to 18, see, it look like this. Okay, so let's make 18 for both of them. Perfect. Okay, so I hope you understand how to add the label for the markers to give. Next, we're gonna add the route between these. Okay, so we will draw the line between this source and destination. Okay, let's draw the route between the source and destination. Okay, so let's go back to our component called Google Maps section, and let me remove this unwanted code from here. Okay, so over here, after this, maybe after this use effect, okay, we will write one method constant, and we can call direction route and the arrow function like this. Okay, here I will define the service, so I will call direction service is equal to new google dot maps dot direction service. Okay, and then after that we'll use direction service reference dot route. Inside this particular direction service route, we will add the origin. Okay, so this first is latitude, and we'll pass source dot latitude, and longitude, which is source dot longitude. Okay, and same thing we'll do it for the destination. Okay, so we provide the latitude for the destination from destination dot lat, and then for longitude it will be destination dot longitude. Okay, and also we'll provide the travel mode, what type of travel mode you want to give. Okay, so sorry, so in this case, travel mode we have to provide like for example, you want walking or you want driving. Okay, so that will be, we are getting from google dot maps dot travel mode, see, dot, and you have bicycle, driving, transit, walking, right? So in this case we'll give the driving, and this is the promise. Okay, so we need to get the result comma status. Okay, and then we need to provide the arrow function like this. Okay, okay, this need to be in the circular bracket like this. Okay, and now we'll check in the condition if the status is equal to google dot map dot direction service dot okay, like this. Okay, if it's there, then we'll set, okay, set direction service, right? Obviously we need to set the point here, or we need to set in, or we need to store this all the points, right? So what I will do, I will define one state constant, and we can call direction route points comma set direction route points is equal to use state, and initially is empty. Okay, now obviously here we will set direction routes, and here I will save the result. Okay, and that's all. And obviously if it's not we did not get a okay status from here, we can just console the error, okay, that we got the error, something like this, and save it. Okay, now the question is how to show it on the UI, because we got this points and everything, right? Now it's time to show it. Okay, so in order to show this route right inside this map only, we need to use another component called direction renderer. Okay, so this direction renderer, we need to provide some of the properties. So first is directions, and here we need to provide that points which we said, so which is direction root points. Okay, and then we can give some option. Okay, so this option for how much width you want to show and everything, right? So for now I will keep as it is. Okay, and let's save this one. Now we have the points we have also showing on the screen, but we need to call this method. Okay, so we will call this method whenever the source and destination is available, right? So here I will write the condition: if source is dot length is not equal to empty, and destination dot length is not equal to empty, then we can say call the direction root. Okay, and obviously same condition we need to put inside the source, because we don't know whether you first put the destination or source address, right? That's the reason we keep both the condition over here, and save this one. Now let's go back to our application. Now let's test it. Before this one, right, make sure instead of the direction service we have to add the direction status. Okay, and otherwise it will not go into this particular condition. Okay, so let's test this out now. So I will put some address here, then another address for the destination, and oh wow, now if you see we got this route as well. But if you see, they added their own marker, right, A and B marker, and the color of the route, okay, which is blue. But we want to change all of these things. We don't want to show marker because we are already showing our own custom marker, and also we want to change this blue color to something else, right? So to fix this, right, what you have to do inside this direction renderer, right, here you can add one property, and we can say here maybe we can pass just suppress marker, and we can say true. Okay, and save this one. Now if you refresh the screen, let's try something now, and if you see we got this we remove this particular marker, right? Now only the route is showing. Now let's update the color of the route. So here you have to provide the poly options, and inside that you can give the stroke color. Okay, so obviously we want to show black, so I will give black, and let's give the stroke width as well. So we give stroke weight, I don't know weight or width, so let's give weight 10 and save it. Let's go back here, refresh the screen, search for the address, and if you see we got the weight. But if you see this marker the root width is too bold, right? We can change to 5. Okay, and maybe this will work. Obviously you need to test it a lot of times, right? And if you see, we got the beautiful route. Okay, with the name, with the marker, with the label and everything. Okay, so I hope you understand this one, because if you go to the any video, right, they will help, they will tell you to fetch this route points from the API, but we don't need to. Okay, this particular service will help us to get all of this for us, right? It will, you just need to provide the origin and destination, latitude, longitude, and then it will return the points which we can use to pass to this direction renderer, which will draw a line for us. Okay, and also we customize everything, right? Whatever we want, whatever you want, we want. Okay, I hope you understand this one, and I know this course is not available anywhere on the internet. Yes, that's right. So Before doing any further delay, let's subscribe to my channel, join this channel for the exclusive source code of this channel. If you join this channel, go to my WhatsApp channel. Okay, the link is in the description, and there you will find the source code of this um, uh, particular course. Okay, but it's you need to join my channel as well and join the WhatsApp channel as well. Okay, so let's move to the next section where we will explore a lot of more thing into this particular course. We are going to show this list of cars available along with the price. Okay, so for that one, we already save all of these um, um, images. Okay, the cars images like this. Okay, so you can access it from my source code. Also, I created a new folder called utils, and inside that I added this car list data. Okay, so inside that we have the list of cars. It consists of id, the name, the how many seats are affordable in that particular car, the description, the amount, okay, and the image. So this amount we are going to multiply with the distance. Okay, so if you see, right, this is 1.1, 1.6, and that is multiplied by the calculated distance which we have already. Okay, so obviously we need in this section we also need going to calculate the distance between these two source and destination, okay, address. And along with that one, once user submit, then we are going to show the list of cars available along with the price. So once user click on the search, we will calculate the distance and then we'll show list of car. So first of all, let's go to this search section. Okay, and here we have this button called search. Inside here I will add new method and it will calculate the distance. So I will name it as a calculate distance, add the arrow function. Okay, and also I added this use context which is source as destination. Here in order to calculate distance, we will write constant distance, then google dot maps dot geometry dot spherical dot compute distance between. Okay, and inside here we need to provide the latitude and the source and destinations latitude and longitude. So here I will provide latitude, then source dot latitude comma longitude source comma longitude. Okay, and then we have to provide the destination. So latitude destination latitude comma longitude destination longitude. Okay, like this. And now we have the distance. So what we can do, just console this distance. So I will console this distance. Okay, and obviously this distance will get in different format. Okay, but now for now we'll keep as it is, and now we need to call this method on the click of this search. Okay, so here we will write on click method which help us whenever my user click on this one, this method will get called, and that's the reason this on click method is used. Now save this one. Let's go back to our application, open the inspect panel. Okay, go to the console, clean everything. So right now if you see, right, we have this source and destination which is the address from the India. Obviously this is a very big distance. Okay, now click on this search. Okay, obviously we need to refresh it because we made this change. So what I will do, I will put some address, then I will put 525 North Tryon Street. Okay, now if you see we got this route. Now click search, and if you see we got some distance, right? This format is little different, right? Now you can convert it into kilometers or miles. Okay, so what I will do, let's go back to application, and inside this distance, right, multiply this distance by 0.000621374, and this will convert it into a miles. So let's go back here, click search, and if you see we got 24.5 miles. Okay, that's correct. So now let's store this information somewhere. So what we can do, I will create a new constant called calculated distance cross, or we just call distance, say distance is equal to use state, okay, like this. And with the set distance we'll store this value. Okay, perfect. Let's comment this out. Now we have the distance. Okay. Now what we will do, we'll create a new component to show the list of cars. So inside here I'll create a new file and we can name it as car list options.js and add the default template, save this one, and after this one, right, we will add that list of cars. So I will add one div and I will wrap this div here, and after this div I will add this car list option method. Okay, save it. Now I only want to show this car list option whenever we have the distance. Okay, if distance is there, then we will show this option, otherwise we will show nothing. And now save it. Now let's go back here, open this one. Okay, so right now if you see, we don't have this component, but as soon as you search something, right, some address and click search, so right now we got one error. Let's see what's the issue. So now let's search some address and let's search destination one and click search, and if you see, we are not able to see the car list option. Okay, so with this condition, once we have the distance, then we will get the car list option. Okay, perfect. Now let's go to this car list option, and here we're gonna iterate the list of car which we already save in utils folder. Okay, this one. So before that I will add h2 tag, and inside that I will write recommended as a text, and let's give some styling to this one. So class name text of 22 pixel and font need to be bold. Okay, and then save it. Now if you go back, see, okay, recommended, and let's give some margin from the top, so margin top to 5, and this is how it looks. Okay, now let's iterate this list. So car list data dot map, and this need to be arrow function like this. Okay, so this is very important. You are going to iterate it, use the list and then map these items. Okay, so if let's add div, and inside here if I try to print item dot name, save this one, and you will see the list of name of the car. Okay, now what I will do, I will create a new file and where I will put the car list item here. Okay, like this. So add the default template, save this one, and instead of writing the code here for the car list item, I will use this component. So let's save this component and then call it here car list item and save it. Now right now it's just printing the car list item. Okay, because in the car list item we have this particular text. Now each item we need to pass it here. Okay, I will pass it as a car, and each item we will pass it here. Okay, in order to display the list of car. Okay, and here we will accept it as a prop. Now first thing, inside the car item we will add one div. Inside that I will add the image from the next image. Okay, then we will add the source. Here we will say car dot image. Okay, let's see what we are calling here. So it's an image. Okay, like this. Then we need to provide the width, so I will add width 100, height 100. Okay, and save it. And if I go back here, now see, now we are getting the list of car. Perfect. Next we will add another div, and inside that we will add the h2 tag. H2 tag, and here we will give the name of the car, so we'll say car dot name, and if you see it's printing like this. Okay, so let's give some styling to this one. So I will class name, well, add font need to be bold, and also we'll add the text size maybe 18 pixel and save it. Perfect, it will make semi bold. Perfect. After this one, I will add a p tag, and inside that I will write car dot description. Okay, and let's see how it looks. Perfect. And the last is after this div I will add the h2 tag, and here we will write the amount. Okay, so obviously we need to write dollar, so we need to write dollar outside, then we need to give car dot amount, and let's say right now we'll add dummy amount like this. Okay, and save it, and if you see we got this amount as well. Okay, but this amount is we want only two numbers after the dot, right? So you can just wrap this and you can say dot to fix to 2. Okay, and as soon as you do this you'll get the number 2 decimal number. Okay, now let's give some styling to this one. So style, so we need to add class name, then add text of 18 pixel, then we'll make font semi bold. Okay, and save it. Perfect. Now let's bring in one line. Okay, so first thing we'll add class name flex to this one. Okay, and what I will do, I will wrap this div again around image and this description. Okay, like this, and for this as well I will give it the flex. Okay, as soon as you make it flex it will come horizontally. Okay, now for this flex let's make item to be in the center. Let's give some gap of 5. Okay, so if you see all of the description name is will be in one line. Okay, also for this flex make it item to be in the center and make justify between. Okay, so the all this value will come at the right hand side. Okay, and also I will give margin top to 5, so it will be look like this. Okay, you can give some padding as well. Okay, so for the car sorry, inside this class lit option you can give padding here. Okay, so you do padding of 5, and yeah, that's look much better. Okay, now also we want to show the number of seats and user icon, right? So we can get the user icon. So let's, if I go to this React icons, right, this particular library, inside that yeah we have this I am going to use this hero icon, search for user, I am going to use this high user. Okay, so inside the class list item, inside this h2 tag I will add the span tag like this, and here I will add this, oops sorry, let me copy it again. So hi user, paste it here like this. Okay, and once you add this icon, right, you have to make sure that you will import this statement. Okay, so add this here, hi user, and paste it and save it. Make sure it's so right now you got this error because it's saying that React icon is not recognizable. So obviously you need to install this library. Okay, this is one of the best library because you will get almost all these icons. Okay, so just go ahead, copy this command and paste it inside the terminal, and then you are ready to go. Okay, now let's see here. Now if you see we got the icon, and after this icon we are also going to show the number. Okay, so just I will write like this, car dot, and just we can say seat. Okay, and save it. Now we got this seat as well. So okay, so we need to write after this one actually. Okay, and save it. like this. Okay, now let's bring everything in one line. So obviously I have to make this flex. Let's give gap of 3. Okay, and for this one as well, class name flex gap of 2, like this. Okay, and make it item to be in the center. Perfect, like this. Okay, I will just change this font to the normal. Okay, so I will change font to normal and it will look like this. Okay, also let's change some text to 14 pixel, and if you see, perfect. Okay, now one more thing, if you see, right, we need to scroll it. Okay, and to avoid that, only we want to scroll this list only. Okay, so what you can do, for this particular class list option for this div, you can just make overflow auto, and you have to give some height. So in this case I will give 350 pixel, sorry, 250 pixel, and save it. And now let's, if you see, right now we got this scroll bar, beautiful scroll bar. Okay, perfect. Next thing, if I click on this any of this item, we want to add the border. So first of all, add the class name, and here I will add the cursor pointer. Okay, so this pointer will change to the actual clickable. See, okay, then user click on any of this car list item we want to show border. So what I will do, I will add the index which will hold the value 0 1 2. Okay, and I will also add one state called constant, and here I will add active index comma set active index is equal to use state, like this. Okay, and save it. Now whenever user click on this particular list item, we will set the active index to the current index. So we'll just say current index. Okay, so this will be our active index, and we need to add the border here, correct? So this is the dynamically we are adding the class. Okay, depends on the which one is the active one. Okay, so in order to add, you have to wrap this class in a curly braces, then you have to add this code. I will remove this one. Okay, and then, sorry, you have to add the condition dollar, and here you have to add if active index is equal to current index, right? Then you can say border width, or just you can border of 1 pixel. Okay, and otherwise null, and save it. Now let's test it out. If I click this one, see, you got this border, correct? Now let's give some styling to this border. So let's give padding of 2. We'll say border not black box. Okay, we rounded the border, so let's round it little, maybe medium. Okay, like this. So see, this is how it looks right now. Okay, see the border. So we'll increase the width, so we increase width to 2, and we also add the border black. Okay, and save it. Let's see how it looks now, much better. Okay, if I click this one, see. Okay, let's increase some border width again, and I will also add padding x to 4. So perfect. Okay, now it will look like this. If I click on any of this one, see, the border is coming to this particular record. Perfect. So this is how we can show it. Okay, now the another thing is to add the amount, or is to update this amount, because in the car list item right now we hard coded this value, right, the 38. Now what we need to do, from the search section we need to pass this distance. Okay, so here I will pass the actual distance as a distance, and inside the car list option, let's accept it as a distance here. Okay, now this distance we need to pass to the car list item every time. Okay, so I will pass this distance equal to distance, and inside the car list item, let's accept it as a distance again. Let's save everything. Okay, and now instead of this hard coded value, we'll replace it with actual distance, and then save it. Now let's try it out. Okay, so if I search this value, okay, let's refresh everything. search some address, and if I click search, see you got the value. And if you see, right, this all value is little different what is actually is, right? So that's how it works. So that's all for this particular section. I hope you understand, and also you learn how to iterate this value, how to show the cars data as well as their amount depends on the how distance and how far it is, right? If I try to change this one, right, you can just let me refresh. We can search for some different address like some Tennessee circle, Tennessee USA, okay, and see this distance is little longer. If I search it, now you get some different cost for each car, right, because the distance is larger. Okay, perfect. So you can add more things into that one, right? You can show the how a mile, how far it is, okay, everything. So that detail you can add it. So after recommended you can add, okay, this is 70 miles or this is 120 miles kind of things. So it's up to you how you want to customize. Okay, in the next section we will implement the payment gateway. Okay, once you select this particular car, then you will see the button for the make the payment, and then we'll go from there. So if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe and join this channel as well, and you can join me on WhatsApp as well. Okay, we are going to add the Stripe payment gateway. Okay, so for that one, first of all we will make one button here to make the payment. Okay, so once user select any of these car selection, okay, then we will show the button at the bottom. Okay, so let's go back here, and this button should be sticky. Okay, so it will be fixed at the bottom side. So let's go to the car list option, and then after this one we'll make I will add one div, and inside that we'll add h2 tag. Okay, so it will say make payment for. Okay, and then we'll add one button which will say uh, request, and then we will add the selection of the car type. Okay, so we'll say for example Uber X. Okay, we'll replace it afterward. Now save this one and let's go back and see how it looks. Okay, so if you see at the bottom, let me refresh the screen and let's search something. Okay, so this obviously will only display when you have the option. Okay, and search it, and if you go down, so it's coming here. Okay, see request make payment for. Perfect. Now let's make this class name and then make it flex, then make justify between. Okay, after that we want to fix it, right? So just say fix. Okay, and sorry, and after that we'll add bottom, so it will be at the bottom. Okay, and let's see how it looks now. See, now let's add some background. So I will add background to be white, then we'll add padding, maybe padding of 3. Okay, and we'll add a shadow which is Excel, and save it. And if you see it look like this. Okay, now after that one we'll add the width, right? So sorry, so whenever the screen size is smaller we'll make it width to be full, but when the screen size is medium or larger we'll make width of 30%. Okay, like this, and let's see whether it's look perfect. See, okay. So next, once we add, let's add little border to this one, so it will give some nice effect. Okay, and we'll make item to be in the center. Okay, let's give some styling to this button, so let's add a class name, and here I will give padding of 3, then we'll add background to be black. Okay, and need to be text to be white. Also we'll make the corner to be rounded. Okay, and make text to be center. It will be in center, but let's see. Perfect, like this. Okay, we'll also add rounded corner to this one, make it large. Perfect. Okay, so even though you scroll it, right, this will be a fix at this position. Okay, and you don't really need to change anything. Okay, so see, this is how it looks. Okay, now once you select it, we need to change this name. Okay, so obviously on the selection we need to store this information somewhere. Okay, so what I will do, you can use this active index instead of storing just the index, or you can use another state. Okay, so I will say selected car. Okay, and here I will say set selected car. This will help us to store the car information. Okay, so obviously on the click of this one, right, first already we are setting the index. In order to add multiple function call right here, you can set like this, right? You have to put it in the curly braces and just say selected set selected car. So in this case is the item. Okay, so that item contains the all in car information. Now we want to show this button only when we have the car selection. Okay, so right now even though we did not select the car, this button is showing, correct? So you just need to add condition, is selected car is there, then show this, otherwise null. Okay, and save it. So right now if you see, right, I don't know why it's still showing. Okay, let's say I've selected car dot name. Okay, and put optional field, then only show this field. Right now if you see, you don't see. If I select any of this, then you will get the name. Also you will get this button and everything. Okay, now what you can do, you can change this Uber X to the name of the car. So we'll say selected car dot name and then save it. Now let's see. So if I select the comfort, say request comfort or Uber XL, see it changes quickly. Okay, so this is how it works. Perfect. Now the thing is, on the click of this, we want to open the Stripe application. Okay, so very first thing, if you don't know what is Stripe, right, the Stripe is one of the best international payment gateway. Okay, and obviously you don't need to be you don't need to submit any document, anything. You can do in the testing mode as well. Okay, and if you don't have any account, then please create a new account. Okay, and then go to the dashboard. Okay, so this dashboard will look like this. So on the home section, if you see, right, it is in the test mode. You can activate it whenever you want, and it will show you test data only. Here you will see the publisher key and the secret key. Okay, so these key obviously are very important. Copy this both the keys and paste it in your .env file. Okay, so in your .env.local, you have to add this both the keys. Okay, now if you see, this is how you can add the publisher key and the secret key. Okay, so copy this both the keys. Now let's search for the Stripe React. Okay, something like this, and you will find this first link which is called a React Stripe reference. Okay, so this is the documentation in order to integrate the Stripe. Okay, so first of all, copy this command and paste it in your terminal. Okay, so over here, just paste it here and enter. Okay, so first thing you need to do, obviously you need to create the checkout form button. Okay, and then you also need to create the API. Okay, so this document has some missing parts, and that is very painful to find it in anywhere on the internet. Okay, because there are some tricks with the Next.js 13 that is not working with this documentation. So that's the reason I'm going to write all of this thing from the scratch. Okay, so bear with me. Now let's, first of all, we will going to create the API. Okay, and this API will help us to send the response to the Stripe dashboard. Okay, so go to the app folder. Okay, let me close this one. We'll close this one as well for now. Okay, and inside this app folder we'll create a new folder called API. Okay, and this folder will act whatever we put in this folder, it will be our API created in the Next.js. Okay, so write API. After that we'll create a new folder and we can call create intent. Okay, so this particular API help us to create the intent for the Stripe payment. Okay, and here will be a route.js. Okay, so this is how you can create the API endpoint inside the Next.js 13. Okay, now very first thing, let's define the Stripe first. Okay, so we'll come new, is equal to this is a reference for the stripe and the stripe. Okay, so I don't know why it's not giving me the suggestion. Okay, and then we have to write process dot env dot, and then here we will need to pass the secret key. Okay, and make sure this need to be a tsx. Okay, so I will just rename this to tsx. The reason is tsx, right? This code work for the TypeScript only, not only, but whatever the code I modified, right, it work in TypeScript. And let me copy the this secret key. Okay, so I will paste it here as a secret key. Now you have to write like this, and inside this you have to write TypeScript will be true, and then you have to write the API version. Okay, before that make sure to add or import the stripe. So I will import stripe. Okay, like this. So not needed to, but we can write stripe from stripe. Okay, I don't know why it's giving me the error, but we'll see in a moment. So here you have to add this stripe dependency. Okay, so if it's not installed, you have to add it manually. So right now we are going to use the version is 14.1.0. okay, and then save it. Obviously you need to do npm I. If I added, you added this dependency manually. Okay, now let's go back here, and if you see, the error is gone. Now here you have to add the API version, and if you do the control space, if you are in Mac OS, or control space on Windows, you will see the current version. So select that one, and then your stripe is initialized. Okay, so now let's add the export async function. This will be a post function. Okay, so async function, and we can name it as a post. This will be our request of type any. Okay, now whatever the amount we are going to send to this API, we will get it from the request. So just write constant data of type any. Okay, or you can make it number, await, and then request dot json, like this. Okay, then obviously we'll save this amount using data dot amount. Okay, perfect. Now inside the try block we will add payment intent. Okay, so let's say payment intent is equal to await stripe, the reference which we have created here, dot payment intents dot create, and here we'll create the intent, payment intent. Okay, so here we have to pass two arguments. First is number. Make sure that number is in the correct format, and we have to multiply by 1000. Okay, and then we have to add currency. So currency, right now I'm using USD. If you are from India, you can use INR. So our payment intent is ready. Okay, now you have just need to return this payment intent using next response. So this is how in Next.js 13 you have to return the response. Okay, and not the response dot body or something like that. Then JSON, here you have to write payment intent dot client secret. So this will generate the for each payment it will generate one key. Okay, so that is the client secret key, and we can make status to 2000. Okay, otherwise if you get any error, we will catch it in a catch block. Oh, sorry, error of type any, and here we will just write return new next response error, comma, and we'll send the status 400. Okay, perfect. So that's all for this API, right? The main thing about this API, you have to get this amount, and then you have to create the payment intent. Obviously this need to be on the server side. That's the reason we wrote this in the API side. Okay, and once we have the payment intent with the correct amount and the currency, then we have to send back this client secret key from this payment intent. Okay, perfect. And now save this one. Next thing we need to do, we need to create one page. Okay, which is our payment page. So what we need to do inside app folder, this is a completely a new page, okay, and over here you can create the new folder and we can call it as a payment, okay, and this will be our new page, and inside that I will get page.js, okay. So add the default template here, and obviously I will rename this to payment, sorry, payment, and here as well payment, and save it. Now whatever the button we created inside this car list option, right, to make the payment, right, let's on the click of that we will add the on click event and we'll jump it to the payment page, okay. So let's see how to do it. So here you need to add on click method, okay, and here you have to add the route, okay. So obviously here you need to add a couple of things, okay. So first thing, we have to define the router is equal to use router, and this use router will be importing from this next/navigation if you are using the Next.js 13, okay, and if you see they imported from the next navigation. Now we'll add the router dot push in order to jump to the new page, right, and here we'll add the payment path, which is /payment, and save it. Now let's go back to our application, search something, okay. Obviously you need to add this one and search it, select the car and click request UberX, okay. So I don't know why it's not work, let me check everything is good, okay. So that's right. So just refresh this particular screen and now let's search it. So 525, not trying some search, select the any amount, right, and then click request UberX, and if you see it jump to this payment page, okay. So all over here we gonna add the payment integration. So here obviously we need to pass some amount, right, so it will come on this particular page. So let's go back, okay, let me close all of these tabs and then let's go back to this car list option, okay, where we have this button, okay. So over here we'll add question mark amount and then we will add the amount. So we have to add the amount from the selected car, okay. But if you see this amount we have inside the car list item, right, this is the amount we need it, correct. So obviously the same logic we're gonna copy from here and then we'll paste it over here, okay. Only thing that instead of car we will get selected car. Let's wrap this for better, sorry, like this, okay. So we have the distance and from the selected amount we calculate the amount, okay, and save it. Now let's see whether we are getting the amount inside this parameter URL, okay. So let me refresh the screen. Obviously you need to search it again, refresh the screen, Kali, try and I don't know, this is very long, but okay, let's search and get request UberX, and if you see we got the amount, okay. So it need to amount is equal to, okay, so I have to write amount is equal to, and here we have to write dot to fix to 2, okay, perfect. Now we have the amount. Now inside this payment page we need to accept that one, okay. So inside this payment we need to accept what are the parameters value we pass, right. So this is very easy. You have to write constant search params is equal to use search param hook, okay. This hook is importing from the next navigation, okay, very important. Once you define this one, you can write constant amount is equal to search param dot get, and then you have to write the id of that parameter. So in this case is amount, okay. So this need to be like this actually, okay. And then let's save everything. I don't know what the issue, okay. So it's saying use search parameter only works in a client component. Obviously you have to mark this as a use client and save it, and also we'll console this amount over here, okay. So let me refresh the screen. we will pass some amount. So right now it's 336. Go to the inspect panel, okay, enter it, and if you see, we got the amount 336. Okay, perfect. Next, let's add some of the things here. Okay, so we have the amount, so I will remove this console. So here we have to define the we have to load the stripe. So I will write stripe promise is equal to load stripe. So if you see this stripe, okay, and inside that we have to pass a variable which is our publisher key dot, and let's copy that key from the env file. So this particular key, okay, and make sure this public the key is starting from the next public, because you are using this public key on the client side. Okay, then let's add the options. Okay, so I will add these options. So we have to add the payment mode, so this will be a payment. Okay, you have the option like subscription and everything. Okay, then amount, so we have the amount, this amount need to be rounded. Okay, so math round, and we can say amount into 1000. Okay, then you can add currency, and this will be a USD. Okay, now inside here you have to add the elements tag. So this elements tag we are importing from the React stripe.js. See, okay, so this is the React stripe element. We are importing this particular tag, so add that one, and inside that we are obviously going to show the checkout form. Okay, but before that, let's pass some information. So first is stripe promise we will pass, and then the options. Okay, this option really don't use it here. Okay, you will see how actually we are going to pass information to the API. Okay, so but if you did not pass, you will get the error. Okay, now here obviously you need to add the checkout form. So inside this home page, I will add the new component called checkout form.js. Okay, and this checkout form has our API call. Okay, so we whatever API we already created, we will call it here. Okay, so obviously add the default template here. Okay, and now inside here I will accept it the amount. Okay, and obviously this amount you have to pass it here. So now we have the checkout form, so I will just add it here. I don't know why it's not saved. So let's add checkout form, and here we'll send the amount which is equal to the amount which we already have. Okay, now let's import this one because it's not get imported, so we'll import manually checkout form from the component slash home slash checkout form. Okay, and then save it. Let's see whether we are getting okay. Yeah, now we have this checkout form. Perfect. Now let's define some of the things. So first define the constant stripe, and we'll use stripe hook over here. Okay, so this hook is importing from this stripe React stripe.js. Okay, then we'll define the elements. So element is equal to use elements. Okay, now on this form, right, we are going to use a default form. Okay, default stripe form, so you don't need to design it. Okay, so what we can do, we'll define the form tag. Okay, and this form tag obviously has a on submit method. Okay, and we'll call the handle submit method. We'll define it later on, and inside the form we will add the payment element. Okay, so this payment element is kind of a pre-built UI. Okay, and also we'll add the button here. So button, and we'll say pay. Obviously we'll style something, so class name will give it to be full. Then I will give background black, text to be white, then padding of 2, rounded I will give large, margin top to 2. Oops, sorry, like this. Okay, now this is our simple button. Now obviously let's define this handle submit method over here. Okay, so copy this one and here I will provide the what method called handle submit is equal to async, and this will hold the event, okay, like this, and save it. Now let's see whether we are getting, and if you see, we are getting this pre-built UI. Okay, so we have the card and the details and everything. Okay, so see how easily we integrated this. Now let's give some styling first. Okay, so what I will do, in order to make this in the center, I will add some styling. Okay, so we'll add this class name here and make it flex. Then we make flex column because button we want to at the bottom, and then we will make justify to be in the center, item to be in the center, width to be full, and we'll give margin top to 6. And this for this form, what I will do, class name will give max, width, medium. Okay, and save it. Now if you see it, this form came in the center. Okay, now also before this form I will add one h2 tag, and here I will say amount to pay, amount to pay, and here we'll pass the amount and save it. And if you see, oh, it's come here. Okay, so what we can do, we already mentioned this as a column, right? I don't know why it came like this. Okay, so this need to be a flex, not flag. Perfect. So let's style class name, margin I'll give 5, and font bold. Perfect. Okay, now we have the all the information. Okay, and once you click the pay, it should return the secret key, and then we will navigate or redirect to the specified URL. Okay, now what you need to do, let's add some logic here. So we'll do event dot prevent default like this. Okay, and if element is equal to null, then we'll return nothing. Okay, and we'll add the constant here for element submit. If element is there, okay, add submit error is equal to await elements dot submit like this. Okay, and if submit error has something, then we'll return nothing. Okay, next obviously we need to call that API to get the client secret key. Okay, so constant result is equal to await, and we use fetch method to call our API. Okay, so we'll get slash API slash create intent, the path of or endpoint of this API, right, comma, and then we have to add method. So this method will be a post, then we have to add body will be a JSON dot stringify, and will be amount here as amount. Okay, so this amount is nothing but the amount we pass, right? As I told you before, this amount we are going to pass, and this amount we're going to charge to the user. Okay, now once we have all this information, we'll get the secret key. So we'll get secret spelling secret key is equal to await response dot JSON. Okay, so this will return only the secret key, and we'll save it in the secret. Okay, now once we have the secret key, we'll just console that secret key for now like this. Okay, and then once the payment is confirmed, okay, we'll hold the error if there is some error, and easily simply we will write await stripe dot payment or maybe confirm payment. Do we have confirm payment? Yeah, confirm payment. Okay, so inside this one we will write some of the arguments. So obviously here we have to pass client secret key to mark this payment as a confirm payment. Then we have to pass elements, then we have to pass confirm payments, So let's add that. So confirm parameters, sorry, we have to pass confirm parameters, and here we need to return the URL. Okay, so for now what we'll do, we'll redirect uh, to the localhost on the default URL. Okay, so we'll say local host 3000. Okay, so what we will do once payment is confirmed, we redirect to the again the home page. Okay, and save it. And now let's test this out. Okay, so we are here. Let's add some dummy card. You have to add future date in order to test it, any CVC and any zip. So 1 2 3 4 5, and let's click pay. Okay, so obviously this will return the client secret key in the console, and if you see, it's redirect to the URL, and it will only redirect if its payment is successful. Okay, and if you see, the parameter is passing the payment intent, the payment intent client secret, and a lot of things. Okay, so this will help us if you want to provide some more detail to the client. Okay, so I hope you understand this one, how to integrate the payment gateway. Very easy, right? You have to just add the API key, and if you see the code, right, I tried to make this code a minimum. Okay, and you don't need to the design the UI as well. This payment element component will taking care to add the payment UI as well. Okay, so you can add the card details and everything. Okay, so the I hope you understand this particular section. Obviously now you can try to add a new page so that it will redirect to the confirmation confirm page. Okay, try this out, and if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. And I hope you like this particular course. There are a few things we are also going through this particular course, so see you in the next section of the this particular course. Okay, one more thing I want to show it here. I created one page called payment confirm. Okay, and this is how it looks like. And once user made the payment, it will redirect to that particular URL. Okay, now it's time to deploy our app so that your friends or family or anyone you want to show this particular project, you can show it. Okay, and in order to deploy this application, we are going to use this Vercel to deploy our application, and this is completely free. Okay, and very easy to deploy. So let's walk through how to deploy it. So first, two things you need to do. First, you need to have this Vercel account. If you don't have, create a new one, and then you also need to have GitHub or GitLab account. Okay, so this is little different process. If you're not aware of this how to deploy using help of GitHub, then that's what we are going to learn today. So first thing you need to do, you need to create a repo inside this GitHub. Okay, so let's give name. So I will give Uber clone 2.0. Okay, and then you can make private or you can make public. Okay, it's up to you, and then click create repo. Here if you see, right, you will see some commands, and this command we are going to execute now. Now first thing, you need to initialize the git, and then you have to set the remote origin. Okay, so let's go back to our VS Code terminal, and here first initialize the git. Okay, then you have to add the git remote origin. Then you have to add all the documents, so by using command git add. Then you can commit it by using command message git commit -m, and you can give some message like Uber 2.0 final. Okay, so it's saying the git commit on branch not working tree. Let me check. Okay, so the thing is, right, I already pushed these changes to one of my branch. Okay, so let me show you that one. So let me go to this repository and search for, oops, yeah, here. So if you see, right, this just a few minutes ago I have updated this one. Okay, so this already I have. Okay, now once you push this all these changes on a git, right, you have to go to this dashboard and click on add new project. Okay, here you can select the project. If you are using GitLab, you have to change GitLab, or if you have any GitHub, you have to just give authorization to this Vercel so that they can access this project. Okay, now if you see this particular GitHub repository is showing here, just click import and you can give whatever the name you want. Okay, so you can obviously change it later on if you want. After this, very important step is to add the environment variable. Okay, so here you have to add all the environment variables. So let me show you which one. So if you go to this .env.local and we added this all the Google API keys, the stripe, the clerk, and all this path. Okay, all of these keys you have to add. Make sure don't miss anything, otherwise your app might broke, okay, in somewhere. So I will pause this video and I will also add this variable. Okay, and once you did this, just click on deploy. That's all. Once it deploy, it will be live. Okay, so I will pause this video. So I just deploy this application and here is the result. Okay, so right now this is the preview. It's not showing anything because this is just login page, but if I go to this particular domain, okay, and if you see it's jumping, I already log in. So let's sign out from here. Okay, so let me open back, and if you see our login page is showing. Now you can just go to this any of this login method, log in it, and then it will redirect to your page. Okay, now one more thing here I want to show you. When we redirect after confirmation, right, we hard coded one value inside the check form, which is this one, right? Now here you need to replace this localhost 3000 port with actual domain URL. So this domain URL you can replace it, okay, like this, and then you have to commit these changes, push it back again to the GitHub, and then Vercel will take care to deploy automatically. You don't need to deploy manually. Okay, so that's the beauty of the Vercel and GitHub. Whenever you commit your changes and push it to the GitHub, Vercel is taking care to deploy your changes back. Okay, obviously if you don't want to do that, you can change that setting, but whenever you are updated with your changes and everything, you can do it. Okay, if you miss something, right, some environment variable, you can add it later on in the setting tab, and then just you can redeploy it again from the deployments tab. Okay, you can just say redeploy. That's all. Also you can change the domain name. Okay, so if you see right now domain is this one, let's change to something else and you can reflect it immediately. Okay, so I hope you understand how to deploy it, and if you see our app is live on this particular domain now. Okay, so guys, that's all for this particular course, and I hope you enjoy this particular course and you also learn a lot of things. Okay, and I know that this particular course is not available throughout the internet to develop the Uber web application. Okay, now it's up to you how do you want to customize in this particular application, what different feature you want to add, and a lot of things you can do with this application. Okay, so try on your own, and I hope you like this video. If you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe, like this video, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to join the YouTube channel as well as join my new WhatsApp channel at the @TubeGurji. Okay, the link of all of these channels is in the description, and yeah, see you in the next video.